No, yeah, I do need your timer, but take that. So I don't want to leave it. All right, guys. So actually, just relax for a second. Let's go down memory lane and kind of remember while we were first taught to pin and reset the trigger. What are some of the reasons why the red shirt told you to? By the way, civilians, red shirt is like law enforcement. They wear dumb red shirts. Why are we told to do that?
Trigger control, accuracy.
Trigger control, follow through, right? So let's talk about follow through, right? Every mechanical engineer that I've ever talked about, when they explain follow through, it's you start at the beginning of the mechanical operation, you cycle through the entire mechanical operation, you go back to the beginning of that operation, right? When that trigger is pinned, have you gone through the entire mechanical operation of the trigger? No, right? Yeah, what can you do with the gun when the trigger is pinned to the rear? Hit the guy. That's about fucking it, right? So there's no way that that's follow through, okay? But so that's that myth, right? But when we go to the click, what are we supposedly at?
The wall.
The wall. We'll destroy that fucking myth in just a second, okay? But what's the other reason, Pat? Why do we want to minimize trigger movement? Because we don't want to do what? Disturb the sights. And how do we disturb the sights? If we do what to the trigger? Slap the trigger, right? Is slapping the trigger bad? Depends, right? Because you'll go to a JJ Ricazza or a Rob Latham class, and they'll shoot groups at 50 yards, and they're slapping that trigger like it's dating his fucking sister, right? And then you walk up, you're like, oh shit, 3-inch group, huh? Or even more, Matt Pronka, who teaches out in Ohio all the time, right? And you're like, what the fuck? It's because their support hand is doing it. Plus, guys, you guys have seen plenty of body cam videos, whether on social media or in your own departments, right? Who fucking pins and resets the trigger during the test? Nobody. Right? You better learn how to hold on to that goddamn gun while you're going cyclic, because that's what you're probably going to wind up doing, right? But again, disturbing the sights by slapping the trigger. Let's take a look at that, man. So, bro, how much do you weigh?
165.
Okay, so I'm 275, right? If you and I were going to arm wrestle, me versus you, my money versus your money for 10 grand, would you arm wrestle me?
Hell no.
No, because I'll rip your fucking arm off. I know jujitsu, right? But what if I said I'm only going to use one finger and you're going to use your entire hand? Would you take that bet? Yeah, because it doesn't matter how much bigger, how much weight, how much stronger I have on him. I've taken away my entire leverage advantage. He'll probably break my fucking finger, right? So that would be a dumb bet on my part, yeah? Just as dumb is when you say your one trigger finger can overpower your entire support hand. And you're not wrong. You know why? Because your support hand's being a bitch. Okay? And I say it that violently and that vehemently because when you understand, right, that your support hand is the steering wheel and the brake, and this is just the gas, it will solve 70 to 80% of your marksmanship issues, okay? The other 80 to 20% is when you're at distance on a small target, and you need both, all right? So let's kind of go through those myths and stuff like that, right? So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna compare the pin and reset, the slap, and the prep based on speed and accuracy, and let you make up your own minds, okay? And give you an avenue to teach other people how to get around that too, right? So cool. Guys, back up for just a second, sir. Get on the 4-yard line. Here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and get the gun out. Eyes and ears, everybody.
Eyes and ears.
Go ahead and shoot the middle of the circle, right? And here's what I want you to do. Use my grip. Put the thumbs up. There you go. Pin the trigger to the rear. Break a shot, pin it to the rear. All right. Now what I want you to do is go to the audible reset. Now, prep it a little more. Prep it a little, okay? How many times did I say prep it a little more before the gun went bang? Twice. So if he was at the wall on the click, it should have went bang immediately, right? As a matter of fact, you can relax for a second. On the Glock, the mechanical reset of the trigger, by the time you hear the click, you are 1/16 of an inch past the mechanical reset. So that click isn't telling you nothing except to be slow. Make sense, right? Plus, in the test, are you guys gonna hear that fucking click? If you don't believe me, we'll take off our ear pro and have him bust a couple caps, see what happens. Plus, auditory exclusion during stress, right? Between those two things, you ain't hearing shit. Stop being reliant upon them, even for one round, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare the pin and reset, the slap, and the prep based on speed and accuracy, okay? So go ahead and get your gun out, brother. Go ahead and break a shot, put it in the middle, and pin the trigger. Good. On the shot timer, are you at the you're pinned? Mm-hmm. Okay. On the shot timer, you're gonna go hear the click and then break a shot. Good. Stand by. Good. Holster up. What does that say?
.85.
Downrange?
Downrange.
All right, so that's the pin. 0.85. Accurate? Is that slow? I don't know. We'll figure it out in just a second. Now we're going to do the slap. Now here's the thing. If he slaps the trigger and his grip is shit, he's going to drop the shot. That's the caveat about the slap. But, so I'm going to help him fix his grip. Let's see what happens. So get out there, right? Do my grip. There you go. Cool. Get on there. Relax. Squeeze. Push up. Push up. Got it? Okay. Put your finger on the trigger. Now slightly take it off the trigger. Slightly. There you go. A little bit more. A little bit off. More. Right there. Are you off the trigger? Stand by. Cool. Holster up. Still in the acceptable level of accuracy?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. What's that say?
0.21.
And were you off the trigger?
Yeah.
Cool. Downrange?
Downrange.
Okay. So that's the slap. Right? 0.21. Which one do you want? Something that's just as accurate and 4 times faster? You want that one, right? Okay. Now let's get to the next level, which is the prep. Okay? So here's what we need to do. Get your gun out. Get that same grip we just did. Push up and slightly back. Got it? Now, put the dot in the center. Prep the trigger. Prep it a little bit more. Stand by. Cool. That was a little slow, right? So go ahead and prep the trigger. Prep it a little bit more. Stand by. Good. Holster up. What does that say?
0.17.
0.17. Downrange? Downrange. Okay. So that is the prep. 0.17. Right? Just as accurate, a little bit quicker. 0.04 is 0.04 a lot. What if you got to do it over a 6-round string? Right? Over 6-round string, that winds up being a 0.24 difference. What can you do in 0.24? Fucking bust another cap. Right? So which one do you want? Something that is slow, accurate, but slow, right? Something that is 4 times faster, or something that's 4.5 times faster with less work. Get to the prep. The work is in the prep, okay? If you can't get the prep, man, start slapping that thing and fucking hold on to that goddamn gun like it's dating your sister. Yeah? Final thing I'm gonna show you, hopefully I have enough rounds. Russ, where you at? Right here. There you go. Right? How much extra work you're doing when you pin and reset the trigger, okay? So, rounds here. I should. Nope, I don't. Russ, can I have some of my ammo back?
Already one.
That's good. Cool. Awesome. All right. So guys, your gun, you should start thinking of your gun as like a seesaw, a teeter-totter, okay? If you trap the bore axis above, below, and behind, it's a flat, it's just a flat mass, okay? But if you put, if I wanted the weight of this, if this was a seesaw and I wanted this end to go up, where would I put the weight? Here, right? When you pin the trigger, where's the weight? Here, okay? So your muzzle stays high when you pin the trigger. It looks something like this. I'm gonna shoot that same group that he just did. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So that's flat. Watch when I pin the trigger. Where's my muzzle?
Up.
Up. One more time. Flat. Where's it at now? Up. So when you shoot multiple rounds, you look like this. Accurate, but slowed. Way too much work. When you don't pin the trigger and get to the prep, watch the muzzle. That's flat. Where's the muzzle? Where's the muzzle? Right back down. So when you shoot multiple rounds and get to the prep during the recoil cycle, it looks like this. Just as accurate, 10 times faster. Does that make sense? Okay? So what I want you guys to do, we're not going to do that now. It would take too much time, but I want you to do that on your own. And I want you to, even when you're shooting one round, when you're zeroing, because that's where we saw a lot of it, right? Even when you're shooting one round, you look silly, right? For example, even when you do one round, like, you know when you were a kid and your mom told you to stop fucking picking your nose? But you're like, Mom, I'm in my room. No one can see me. And then she's like, well, fuck you, whatever, right? And then you grow up and then you're in your car fucking going for glory. And then you look at the car next to you and it's this hot ass girl looking at you going, I should have listened to your mom, right? Because I'm that hot ass girl going, stop doing it. It's a horrible habit. Just stop doing it, All right, get to the prep. The work is in the prep. Get to the prep. So I'm not telling you not to pin and reset the trigger. I'm giving you a positive direction of get to the prep, get to the prep, get to the prep, because that's where the work lives. Does that make sense? Again, giving credit is due. First time I saw that was in Donovan Moore's class. He adapted it from JJ Ricazza, okay? I'm gonna say this right now. If you guys have a chance to train with Donovan Moore, you should. Point one tactics. He is literally probably the most technical shooter on the face of the fucking earth that can actually explain how to do stuff, right? And he's probably the best shooter from concealment on the face of the earth. I'm the best teacher from concealment on the face of the earth, but he's the best performer, right? Go train with him. He's fucking awesome. Make sense? All right, guys. What's up?
Who's she?
What?
Who's she?
What do you mean, who's she?
Donovan.
What?
That's his joke.